Good morning. Welcome to preschool. It's a whole new week and we get to learn new things this week and I'm so excited for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started right away. We're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance, so get out your right hand, put it on your heart, and let's say our pledge. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job. Okay, we're going to get right into our calendar. Guess what month it still is? Same month that we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. It is January, February, March, April. Good job. It's April. Okay. And today, it's a very special day. It's this one right here. And there happens to be a very special little birthday cake on this one. Whose birthday, do you think it is? I think it's William's birthday. So let's count clear up to 21, which is William's birthday, April 21st. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. April 21st. And happy birthday to William. I'm so excited for you, buddy. Should we sing you happy birthday? I think we should. All right, here we go. Ready? Everyone stand up. Clear your voices. Get your most beautiful happy birthday voice on. All right, here we go. And it's for William. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear William. Happy birthday to you. Good job, bud. I'm so glad you had a birthday. And I cannot believe that you are 5 years old. That's crazy because you're so big. I'm excited for you to start kindergarten next year too. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and sing our Days of the Week song. We'll do first English, then Spanish. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Domingo, Lunes, Martes, Miércoles, Jueves, Viernes, Sábado. Good job. Okay. Now it is a new week, so we have new things to cover. All right. So first of all, here's our shape of the week. And we've done this one a bunch of times. What is this shape right here? This is a triangle. Triangle. And we know it's a triangle because it has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. Tri means 3. Triangle. So think about a tricycle. That's a bicycle with 3 wheels. So triangle has 3 sides. Good. Okay, our next thing is our color of the week. I am going to just give you the sign language for it, and you see if you can remember what it is. Ready? Take a G and do this. Do you remember this one? It is the color green. Oops, there we go. Green. The color green. Good. All right. Now, this week we have 3 more lowercase letters. Let's see if we can see what letters these are. Are you guys ready? This one right here is the letter P. P. And the P says P. The P says P. The P says P. Every letter makes a sound. The P says P. Like popcorn. All right. Now, this is our next letter, and this one is kind of confusing because this looks a lot like the P that we just did, doesn't it? Except for it's flipped the other way. Do you see that? Do you see how it's backwards? Sometimes you'll see a little tail on this going up. This is the letter Q, a lowercase q. Q. And the Q says qu. The Q says qu. The Q says qu. Every letter makes a sound. The Q says qu. Good. All right, one more. You guys ready for this one? This is the lowercase, what? R. The lowercase r. Sometimes it's hard to tell what these are without seeing its capital next to it. So that's why I'm showing them to you with just the lowercase. This is the R, and the R says The R says The R says Every letter makes a sound. The R says Good, like railroad. Okay, now who remembers what we were doing last week for counting? Normally we would do a number, right? Like we would do number 20 or we'd do number 18 or number 7. This week we're doing the same thing we did last week, which was counting by tens. Do you guys remember this? So we're going to start with 10 and we're going to jump to the 20, 30. Okay, here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's do that again. Should we do it in a different voice? We probably should, huh? I think we should do it in our cowboy voice. You guys ready? All right, everybody get ready. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Do you think that's how all cowboys count by tens? Probably not, but it's fun. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, so it is the week that we learn about frogs. And so, because we're learning about frogs, I thought it would be fun to sing our song. I'm going to give you a hint of what song it is. You guys ready? Okay, ready? Here's your hint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you remember our song about 5 frogs? Well, we are going to sing our 5 frog song. Okay? So, I'm going to put the mic on and we're going to have Alexa play it for us so it's a little more fun, okay? Here we go. Alexa, find the song. Alexa, play 5 speckled frogs.
5 Little Speckled Frogs by Little Baby Bum Nursery Rhyme Friends on Amazon Music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 1, 2, 3. 3 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool, where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 1, 2. 2 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is one green speckled frog. Glub, glub. One. One little speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. He jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no green speckled frogs. Glub, glub.
Okay, so this week we're going to learn a lot about frogs, and I wanted to show you guys the life cycle of frogs. Now, do you remember when we talked about butterflies, how we talked about butterflies go through a metamorphosis? Do you remember that big word, metamorphosis? And I showed you something similar to this, but it was about butterflies. It was caterpillars that turned into butterflies, right? Well, this is the life cycle of a frog, and frogs also go through metamorphosis. So the very first step right here, those things right there that kind of look like squishy eyeballs are actually frog eggs. And frogs lay their eggs in water or wet places, and they clump all the eggs together. Thousands of eggs are laid at one time, and then a few of them will develop, and inside these little clear, that little black thing right there will turn into this guy, a little tadpole. First it'll be a little tiny little swimmer, and then it'll hatch out of the egg. And then after 21 days, the embryo, which is the little guy over here inside, he leaves the egg or the jelly shell, and he becomes a tadpole. So this little guy right here is called a tadpole, and he kind of looks like a fish, doesn't he? He's a baby frog. He has a long tail, and he lives in the water, and he has to rely on camouflage to protect it. Camouflage is when you blend in with your surroundings. So then, after he's a tadpole, as time goes on, about 5 weeks later, he still kind of looks like a tadpole, but look right there. Do you see that little thing? Looks a little bit different than that one, doesn't it? Those are little tiny hind legs. The tadpole starts to grow these little tiny legs that are his back legs. And then eventually he'll start to grow some front legs, and his lungs inside of here start to develop. And lungs are for breathing air. When they're first born, they don't have lungs because they don't breathe air. They breathe in the water. So then, down here, number 4, over time the tadpole becomes a little frog or a froglet. And they shed their skin, and its lips, and its mouth widens, and it loses its horny jaw, and the tail becomes much smaller. So his tail here will start to shrink, and his legs start to grow big, and the lungs are almost working. They're still growing. He's still living underwater. And then, number 5, eventually the fully developed frog is all grown. His lungs work and his legs, and he doesn't have a tail anymore, and he emerges from the water. So he comes out of the water, and the frog will live mostly on the land, and occasionally he'll go in the water and swim. And then eventually it will find a mate or a daddy frog, and then she will go and lay a bunch of eggs in the water, and then the whole process will start all over, and it'll just keep going like this. That is called metamorphosis of a frog, or the life cycle of a frog. Okay, now for one of our crafts this week, actually probably the funnest craft, most fun craft, is a frog. We're gonna do a little froggy, and I wanna teach you guys something about frogs. So go into your folder and find this little guy right here. See if you can find this little froggy. Okay, so you're gonna look through your folder for this week where your worksheets are and find this frog, and then get him out. And you'll notice that this little froggy has a funny little He has little cuts right here in his mouth, little tiny little lines that are cut out of his mouth. And what that's for is if you go to your craft bag or your bag that has your snacks and your other stuff in it, you're going to see one of these guys. And this is actually a little party thing. If you blow on it, see? Isn't that fun? So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to put it in the front of the froggy's mouth like this, so it sticks out like that and looks like a frog's tongue. Now, frogs are very cool because they have these long tongues and they'll sit there, ribbit, 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 and then every once in a while their tongue will come out really fast and they will catch a fly that's flying by because they don't use their hands and grab them out of the sky. They don't have chopsticks and they don't have a net, right? They have their sticky tongues. And so they'll take their little sticky tongue, and when a fly comes by, catch. Now, what I did on mine, and you guys can do this, I didn't do this to yours, but if you want, you can pull your tongue out and take a pen or a marker, and you could draw a little fly on the end of your tongue if you want. Okay? And then you've got a little froggy with a tongue. And you could catch flies, pretend flies. Good job, guys. Okay, so for our packets this week, for our crafts this week, you're going to look for your folder, through your folder, and find the packet that says April 21 to 23, and you're going to get out that packet. And then you're going to grab your first worksheet, which is your, well, that's silly. That says red things. You're not supposed to have this one because our color isn't red this week, it's green. I just realized that. So you can color this red if you want. Find the things that are red, but this is the wrong color for the week. So you're going to start with your alpha bug page. Okay. And we're going to start, ooh, it's blowing over. I should have turned off the fan. So you're going to start with your alpha bug page. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to fill in the missing lowercase letters. We've been learning lowercase letters for a couple of weeks. So our first one is A, and then a B needs to go right here. So see if you can remember what a B looks like and draw a B in there. Then you have C, D, then what? E. So see if you can remember what an E looks like and draw that on there. And you're going to go through the whole alphabet and see if you can fill in the letters. And if you need help writing the letters, you can ask your mom or dad. And if you still can't write the letters, that's okay. Just practice the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and then keep going through and see if you can figure out what they are without seeing them. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Okay, and then you're going to keep going all the way through until you're all done. Okay, then your next worksheet is going to be your alphabet train worksheet. Okay, so you're going to get that guy out and you're going to write your name at the top. And this one is the same type of idea. We're going to use our skills that we have learned with your alphabet, and you're going to start with your letter A, which is right down here. See this little A down here at the bottom? So start down here at the bottom with your A and your pencil, and then draw a line from A to B. And then you're going to look for your C. A, B, oh, there's your C up there. So draw a line. A, B, C, then try to find your D. There he is. D, E, F. Okay, and then keep going. G, H, I, J, K, and see what it makes. It's going to draw a picture. I want to see if you guys can figure out what your picture is going to be. Okay? Good job, guys. Okay, then there's one more worksheet for today, and it's this fun one right here. This is a frog. It's a silly looking frog, and he is trying to eat a bowl of cereal. But guess what? He does not have a spoon. And so you need to look through the picture and find his spoon. But guess what? He is very forgetful. And there are actually 10 spoons in the picture. So try to see if you can find all 10 of the spoons that are hidden in the picture. And I'm going to give you one hint, okay? Look, there's a spoon right back here in the cabinet, okay? So there's one. See if you can find the other 9 spoons. That's a fun worksheet. Good job, guys. Okay, we're going to now read a book called Frogs. Okay, we're going to learn all about frogs. The air around this beautiful green pond is full of loud noises. What could be making such a racket? Oh, it is the frogs. Do you see the frogs in the picture? There's one. There's another one. Look at that. The green frog lives in the water almost all of the time, and it has smooth skin that needs to be kept wet. The frog shoots out its sticky tongue to catch a fly for lunch. To move forward underwater, the frog makes the same movements that you do when you swim. It moves fast because of its strong legs. The frog's front legs have 4 fingers each, but its rear feet have 5 fingers jointed by flexible skin called webs. Those webbed feet push the frog through the water very quickly. Do you see the webbed feet right here? Those are his back legs. They have webs that help him push through the water. When frogs go underwater, clear eyelids cover their eyes to keep the water out. Look at that. So they have built-in swim goggles. Isn't that cool? In the spring, the female green frog makes thousands of eggs. She places them near the male frog who fertilizes the egg with sperm from his body. A few days later, green frog tadpoles hatch. Tadpoles can breathe underwater from the moment they are hatched. By the time they are 5 weeks old, their rear legs have appeared. So first they look like this over here, they almost look like little fish, huh? Little tiny tadpoles, and then they start to grow their hind legs. The tadpoles, who now look like tiny frogs, begin to move around the pond. When a tadpole is 9 weeks old, its tail begins to shrink and it grows front legs. At 12 weeks, the tadpole has lungs so it can breathe out of water. Only amphibians, such as frogs, breathe underwater as babies but breathe on land as adults. Do you remember last week when we learned about amphibians? Well, a frog is an amphibian. The frog unrolls its tongue to capture a fly. Frogs also like to eat spiders, worms, and other small animals. But look out! The frog is hunted too by the grass snake and the pike. Look, do you see the snake over here hiding? And look, there's a pike. The frog can walk on its 4 feet. It can jump really high too. But it loves to use its strong rear legs to jump. To attract females, a male frog slips into the water and sings wonderful, noisy songs by inflating his vocal bag. That is the noise you hear at the pond. So if you ever go to a pond and you hear this, that is the male frog trying to get the attention of a girl frog. Central American tree frog, right there. This is a red-eyed tree frog. Why do you think it's called a red-eyed tree frog? Do you think because his eyes are red? I think so. Tree frogs come in many colors, shapes, and sizes. These brightly colored frogs are called poisonous dart frogs because their skin is poisonous to the touch, and their poison is used to make darts for hunting. So that's the golden poison dart frog. And this is the Lehman's poison dart frog. And this guy right here is called a flying tree frog. Isn't that cool? He has webs on his front feet too. And the venom of this terrible frog can kill a human being. So if you ever see a yellow frog like that, don't touch it. Although I don't think we have those here. I think they're only in Africa. And poison arrow or dart frog. So these are all, if they're really colorful like this, you probably want to stay away. And then we've got this little guy here, horny toad of South America, and the tree toad of India, and then the South African horned toad. And this one here, the yellow-bellied toad with its speckled back, is the king of camouflage. Camouflage is skin coloration that resembles the background. Toad skin is not smooth like frogs. It is rough and bumpy. So he's actually a toad. His is rough and bumpy and dry. This is the South African rain toad, the giant toad of Australia, the Asian fire-belly toad. Most toads prefer to live on the soil rather than in the water, even though they know how to swim. Male toads, like frogs, also have large vocal bags. Do you see that thing right there? It looks like a bubble that he blew in the water. That's actually underneath his chin. And he can fill it with air and make noises with it. Most toads, oh, I read that part. It was from the clear page. There's the male alpine newt and the mandarin newt of Asia. These are salamanders, cousins of the frogs, and also amphibians. Salamanders keep their tails throughout their lives. That's a fire salamander right there. This one right here, I should look up how to say it because I think it's Cassilia, is another amphibian, but it's not a salamander or a frog. Because look, it kind of looks like a worm, but it's not a worm either because it has a backbone. It's an amphibian. But it doesn't have legs. And this is the great siren of North America. And this guy right here, the giant salamander, is the largest land salamander in the United States. He's really big. And with their thick and colorful skin, we also have the Gila monster. And then we have green iguana. And we have a red-eared turtle and an alligator and a slow worm. And those are actually all just amphibians. They're not frogs, are they? They're not frogs and they're not toads. But they fall into the frog book. And that is it. The end.